name is Elizabeth Virginia Wairimu Wamwea. I work with the Nairobi Women's Hospital. Professionally, I am a nurse, and currently for the last 5 years working with the business development department, of which is entailed with mostly offering promotive preventive services to the community, especially to where I'm situated in Ongata Rongai, Kajiado County. I was born 38 years ago, December 4th, 1980, and I was born in Nairobi, raised both in Nairobi and Mombasa. I come from a family where we are 4 siblings, to be precise, 4 girls, and I happen to be the firstborn of the family. Marital status, I am a single parent and mother to 3 adorable children. My firstborn is Lokwaliwa Loriu, a boy who's 15 years and now in Form 2. I have my secondborn, my daughter Lokuchal, who is in Class 6. And then my lastborn, Wamwea Naukot, who is in Class 4. So taking a walk through my education, I started off primary in St. Augustine's Preparatory School, which is in Mombasa. And that's where I went and did my KCPE. And from there, I went over to Loreto Convent Valley Road in Nairobi, where I attained my KCSE. And from there, I've always had the passion to work and serve the sick. So I didn't do too well in mathematics, so I couldn't do medicine. However, I managed to do nursing, which I enjoyed, and I managed to do the diploma at the Kenya Medical Training College in the Meru campus. Okay, after having finished and having attained my diploma and passed very well in Kenya Registered and Community Health Nursing, my first employment was a small NGO dealing with the orphaned and vulnerable children, those infected with HIV below 2 years, in a home called New Start, Ripple's New Start home in Meru. I worked there for a short time of about 6 months, and after that I got a small contract to work with the Isiolo County Hospital, where I worked for another 1 year. Then from there I now transitioned and came down to Nairobi. And when I came to Nairobi, I joined the Eastern Dinari AIDS Relief Program. For me, I usually say this is one employment that has really molded me to be what I am today. I worked in various capacities. Maybe to give you a bit of an insight on the type of work that Eastern Dinari does, it deals with offering the HIV and TB treatment to the community of Eastlands, totally free of charge. So what it entails, testing and also treatment. And I served as a nurse. I served as a nurse mentor. I served also as a deputy facility supervisor and also a supervisor of the facilities. So looking at it, I was able to work in various places of Eastlands, Huruma, Dandora, Babadogo, Shauri Moyo, and the likes. And for me, it was what has made me to be what I am, because of the ability to interact with the various persons and being able to engage them in a different way as you pass on the health information. So from there, I transitioned to my current employment, which is the Nairobi Women's Hospital. And this was in 2011 May when I joined them. And when I joined the facility, I came in as a senior staff nurse. I served as a night supervisor for 2 years. From there, I transitioned to work at the casualty. And maybe during that point also is when, considering the facility was relatively new, it was time for me to now bring in the expertise that I received from Eastern Dinari to set up the first clinic, that is the CCC clinic, that would be able to reach out to those who are infected with HIV, inclusive of those with TB. So in that capacity of the casualty, I served for close to another 2 years. And from there, I got to get this bag of change. I was in the hospital and I realized that where people really needed more help is outside in the community, because those who come to us are those who already know what they want. But looking at the place we are in, that is Kajiado County, there was need to go out, there was need to go and do an assessment of the needs for the people, that is health needs. And through that, for the last 4 years, I can tell you the number of activities done courtesy of the hospital plus other partners. I can tell you there are over 1,000 or more. And from there, you can be able to draw up a plan and know which health activity is this that will be able to reach the youth, the women, and the men. And when you do it holistically, you find that you're able to meet the needs of a larger population. So apart from churches, we've been involved in various communities, activities, spanning down as far as Tinga area in Magadi, where we've worked with the community to have free medical camps, inclusive of treatment, down the areas of Kipeto, down the areas of Isinya, Bisil, name it. We've been able to cover extensively by offering free treatment and above all, being able to empower people with the promotive, preventive health, which is most important. More or less, if we look at the issues pertaining to cancer. Why? Because people are not able to know what the basics are. And you need to bring down the information in the most simple way so that people, at the end of the day, they will not fear the disease, but they will look at how they will be able to detect it early enough, and above all, get a facility where they can get treatment or an early intervention. So apart from cancer, we're also looking at the pregnant women. And if you look at it, most women in their first pregnancies are not familiar about the simple things of what happens during pregnancies. What are the danger signs? Simple care maybe of the baby. What are the immunizations? So what we've been able to do is that we have what you call the pregnancy fairs that you not only hold in the hospital, but you hold them extensively to the various communities that we have done. And through that, we've been able to create a lot of awareness to the young mothers who can know that should this happen, there is need to run to a facility. So maybe to add on to that is that we've not only worked alone, we work very closely with Kajiado County. And this is because we need to be able to work together, knowing that when it comes to medical, it's not about competition. It is about partnership. It is about closing on the gaps where we can, right? It is also about if there's an issue that has come up from another facility, you don't clap, but what do? You reach out and ask, what can we do so that we can be able to make life better? So I could go on and on and on because now that is where my passion is. I like to see, I like to draw up a plan, and I like to act so that people can, at the end of the day, we can have longevity of life. Hey. Looking at, it's more or less the challenges. When you look at medical is not an easy nut to crack at all. You'll find it is easier to do some other things, but if you look at medical, it entails a lot. There's the curative aspect, there's the preventive and promotive aspect, amongst others. And where there is a lot of need is passing across the information before one gets to have that problem. And for sure, what does that involve? It involves use of time. It means going beyond and above, not even knowing what Sunday is or what Saturday is or even a holiday is. It entails resources like manpower. It entails, and not only manpower, but skilled manpower. It also entails a lot, of course, not really a lot of money, but some amount of money, right? And if you look at it, not very many people will go into that because it really is quite consuming, right? So looking at health, it is one thing that for sure we can only be able to succeed, as I said prior, if we do it as partners, right? You cannot fight this battle alone. You asked me about why is it easier for people to recognize the celebrities, recognize so and so. But if you go back to their individual stories, many of them, they will tell you it was not done overnight. They will tell you there are some who went to auditions and even they were chased away at the doors. Some will even tell you the way first look, first impression, they were chased away, right? Others will say I was not able to come about with finances to boost this particular career of mine. But what happened? They persisted and persisted. They never gave up. And somewhere along the line, they shone. So what does that mean? If each and one of us in the health sector can put our collective responsibility, if from every corner, be it the government hospital, be it the private facilities, wherever it is, with time, if we are able to do that consistently, we will find that then people will be able to feel the impact, right? My childhood dream, I'd want to first of all acknowledge that one, my mentor and great mentor is my mother. This is one person who is my friend, my sister, and I know whenever I have a conversation with her every day, my mother is a type of person who will never be giving up. She'll always remind you to push. She'll always give you the shoulder to lean on, even when it's on phone. So knowing that she's there, you're able to know that you can make it. And she'll always ask, if you did this and this, what don't you think? If you just prayed and put a bit of action, wouldn't it work? So those are the things that are really assist. My other mentor, Mother Teresa, has been my all-time mentor. Her humility, being able to reach out and do so much yet with really minimal resources. I also like Mahatma Gandhi, his style, which is that of humility but with a lot of impact. Not forgetting also Nelson Mandela. And for me, yes, my dream, as I said, was to be the medical doctor. But at least I got the sister, which was a nurse, right? And on top of that, I think even as you continue, you get to realize, wait a minute, no. Now my dream is actually to go out to the people, right? So you can see the switch of from nurse, but now using the technical aspect to go to the business development department, to reach out to people, to be able to help them understand. So if I was asked, I am now living my dream, meaning that I've been able to get a bit of resources through reading, through practice, through learning, through falls and all. But I'll always wake up and say, if this particular activity did not work out, what can I do to make it work? I'll give you a recent example of the first time that I ever coordinated an activity for the county very recently. And we were working hand in hand with the other Rotary clubs, of which, as I said, I'm a member of. And there were some visiting doctors who were coming in, and for sure I had never coordinated anything with visiting doctors. And at the last minute, just a few days to, we realized, oops, we cannot be able to have this camp going on. The doctors cannot even touch our patients nor do any corrective surgeries if they do not get clearance from the medical board. Looking at it, there were some processes which had been revised, and we all knew at the committee level that this for sure cannot happen. We only have like 2-3 days, and this is something that can take almost 6 months. But I said one thing. I'm a believer that if it's the people who are benefiting, and yes, we may have bypassed 1 or 2 things, which we are going to do, I am very sure and very certain that the favor of God will follow us, and each and every door that is supposed to open after a month will open up in minutes. And let me tell you, on Friday, and remember Friday was the last working day, and remember the camp is on Monday, knowing that Saturday and Sunday there's nothing much you can do. At exactly 3 p.m., what we call favor is what came unto us, because I got the clearance and I was told, you know what, go ahead, you can now do it. I remember breaking down in tears, and they were asking me, wait a minute, you look like, are you really, okay, I know you're really not paid for this job or anything. You've been here each and every day, and why are you doing this? And I told them, when I do this, it's what gives me the happiness. And when I know what the purpose is, it gives me even a drive to want to achieve more and more and more. So I must tell you that the camp went on very well. It was successful. It was a dental and eye camp. And I'm telling you, people who walked in with a need and maybe they were diagnosed over like 2 years ago, you've been put into the list of surgeries, you're given the cost, you cannot be able to raise the cost. And all of a sudden, this can be done. Thank God for the angels that were there. They managed, and you leave that place being able to see better, right? For the young people, you know that you'll grow up with a better self-esteem because now something corrective has been done. And for those who had that tooth which was really aching and you don't have that 200 to be able to even extract it, that it can get out. What do I love doing on my free time? When it comes to work, I'm an extremist, and when I decide to have free time, I really do it seriously, extremely. I love dancing. I love rumba. I love bongo. Of course, I love gospel. And I can tell you the discotheque can have about 4 or 5 hours of me over there. Yes. And that really makes me feel good. I love swimming. I'm an avid swimmer. And I occasionally do that, maybe once a week. I also love reading. When you read, we know that's the best exercise for the mind. And I also love networking. I like meeting different people. I like sitting down there in that Mama Mboga's place. We sit, get to know how her day has been, what her perspective of life is. Go down to the gentlemen who are seated there. They have their own views, but we appreciate, right? Over to the other people maybe who we are within the same age with, and not forgetting those who are older than you, because this is also a group that is able to impact some form of wisdom and knowledge in your day-to-day life. What do I have to tell the people out there? This is a message I want to give to that person who feels like they are not worth it, that they are taking too long to achieve their dream. To that young person who is not so sure of what they want, the thing is this: a lot of patience has to be exercised in our day-to-day life. Our passion, whatever passion it is. I go back to the words of Martin Luther King, where he says, and when you're given a task, if it is sweeping, sweep those streets so clean, like there'll be never be anyone who can sweep that street again. What am I saying? In whatever work you've been given, just don't do it for the sake of. Do it well. Do it consistently. Not because you anticipate to get a higher paycheck, not because you want to get favor from your fellow peers, but it's because it is what which will give you satisfaction. So what am I saying? Let us be patient. Let us have our target, what we want. If it's that house that we want, what ways are we taking towards achieving that we get there? There must be patience. If it is that car, what are we doing to get there? Once again, it is a journey, one step at a time. And to the youth, one time I went to a particular conference and we were told there's too much instant everything, instant coffee, instant tea and everything. But there's one thing that we've not been able to achieve, instant ugali, which is a favorite to we Kenyans. We still have to boil the water, we still have to put the flour, we still have to stir that mixture very well. We still have to be patient with it and ensure that we get a proper meal. So once again, what am I saying? Let's go back to the old model of working hard and working smart. And I believe and trust it will pay off at the end of the day. Thank you. Mm-hmm.